ตอบเลยสิอะไรคือ integration explorer มันไม่เหมือนกันที่เดียวมันไม่ใช่เขารวมถึงสกิล communication สกิลด้วยแล้วมี problem solving
your understanding of the material there. Okay, and then you can get them to put it up and then explain to the rest of the class. Okay, so that's one thing you could do. But I'm not going to do that because of lack of time. So the next thing you could do, and I think it's the next one, you rejoin your base group. Okay, rejoin your base group and explain to your members of the base group your standard, the one that you just went through and have become an expert in. Okay, now if you took the first one, where you ask the group to do flip charts and to present to the whole class, you can still get them to rejoin their base group, but this time you ask the group, can you together apply in something or other? Okay, so your question becomes higher. So now what I'm just asking you to do is not to do on a flip chart to share. I want you to go back to your base group and explain to each other, okay, your standard which you have just gone through. And I want you to also, as you do that, think of your own course or your own program and how this standard can be used for your own course and your own program. So do a self-evaluation at the same time, okay? Okay, so now join your base group again.
ส่วนในเรื่องสีเนี่ยเหมือนกับว่าสอดคล้องกับวัตถุประสงค์ขององค์กรพวก mission statement แล้วก็ในเรื่อง5ก็คือว่ามีการลงทุนก็มีการลงทุนเราที่ร้าน
กรรมต่างๆที่อยู่ในกองนะครับสำหรับถามว่าในสเกล1 2 3 4 5เนี่ยตอนนี้ที่คณะมีหรือเปล่าต้องเรียนว่าในกลุ่มเนี่ยไม่ได้คุยกันไม่ได้เลือกว่ามันอยู่ครับไม่ได้เลือกว่าอยู่ในขั้นไหนครับไม่ได้เลือกว่าอยู่ในขั้นไหนแต่ถ้าถามผมเนี่ยก็เป็นผมนะครับเพราะว่า exploring engineering world อะไรพวกนี้ครับมันมีแค่บางส่วนของตัว standard ที่ 4แต่จะขาดพวกการพัฒนา soft skill การพัฒนาพวกกิจกรรมต่างๆดังนั้นเนี่ยอาจจะถ้าเอาให้ตรงตัวเลยอาจจะเป็น0แต่ถ้าถามว่าจริงๆแล้วคณะเรามองว่ามี recognize ไหมก็มี recognize ครับก็อาจจะเป็น1ก็ได้นะครับแต่ถ้าในแง่ของความหมายของเขาเนี่ยก็คงต้องเป็นว่านี่ก็คงเป็นตัว
here. One is the method. The method is called a jigsaw method, and that is an active learning method. And you notice the facilitator, that's me, had very little to do. Okay? All I had to go around was to check, are you on task? Okay? Remind you to be on task, and that's time there. Then the second thing is I had to facilitate. That means tell you, okay, what's next? Do what next? Do what next? Okay? The other thing I had to do, which I didn't do because I thought you all were familiar, was to go around and check. And I realized one group was telling me that, all of you didn't attend the first session and therefore didn't know standard one, what that meant, and so forth, what the context and so forth meant. So yeah, I should have gone around to check the understanding, yeah? Okay, so two things I was trying to do there. One is the method. How do you find the method? The jigsaw method. It's called jigsaw. How do you find that method? Where each person becomes an expert and go back and explain to the group. Yeah. How do you find that? Totally agree. I should have given you more time, yeah? But keeping an eye on the time, I was trying to rush you through. Yes, I would agree. I should have given you more time, yes. That also comes with practice, yeah? How much time? And if I knew your language and knew your discussion, then I can eavesdrop as well and understand where you are, okay? But I couldn't, so I could just go around and check where, sort of thing. So in your own class, you could eavesdrop on your students, and you could hear where they are, what are they discussing. And you could also eavesdrop on some of the issues that they're raising, what I don't understand, and so forth. Yeah? So yes, so that's your role as you go around, yeah, which I couldn't do. I could just ask you all, is that okay? Yeah. Anything else about the method, the jigsaw?
I think that because it's like each person study each topics, and then we talk together, so we get the big pictures, and we see the same pictures after making jigsaw together. That's my method. So example, I learning deeply standard 1, 2, 3, 4. So then I don't know about standard 2 anyway because I haven't read it. But once we talk together, we understand. Okay, what is it? So I understand the whole picture is 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the key point of the jigsaw. That's right.
Each of you now become an expert of one, actually. And if you can see commonalities, that's where, as a facilitator, I will draw you all and say, look, there's certain commonalities in what I've given you. One is a description of the standard. You notice that, a description of the standard, what each standard means. The second one is why we have that standard, the rationale for the standard. And then after that, the evidence that you need to produce for the standard, what it looks like, and so forth. So that's where you're drawing commonalities. And you could further extend the thinking by asking the groups, how is standard 1 different from standard 4, for example? Or standard 3 different from standard 2? Okay? So these are questions as a facilitator you are trying to ask your students so that you are checking their understanding. Have they understood? Are they able to compare and contrast? And the next question then, in your opinion, what are examples that would illustrate standard 2, evidence of standard 2 or evidence of standard 3, and so forth? So that's where your role as a facilitator comes in. Okay? Okay, so this is an introduction to the standards. It's just an introduction. When we come to the workshop, remember when I started out this workshop yesterday morning, I said, today, these 2 days are just one of 5 workshops. And the last workshop, which is in 2014, we will come back to evaluation. And we'll go through it in more thorough detail. Yeah? Okay, so this is just to give you a little bit of taste of evaluation. Yeah? Okay. Okay, that's all. But just to add to that, in SP, we went one step further. We thought that besides this self-evaluation using the standards, we also wanted to check for students' interest and students' learning. So with that, we came up with questionnaires. Okay, questionnaires for blocks and questionnaires for surveys. And the blocks were sent to the student every 2-3 weeks that asked them, you have gone through Introduction to Engineering activity number 1. Did you find that you were thinking about it, you were thinking critically, it encourages you to think critically, and so forth. And they were giving us feedback on their experience of going through a course that has been changed using the CDIO principles. Okay? That's one. We also had end of the semester questionnaire that asked them to what extent have you now improved in, say, communication skill or teamwork skill. That's end of semester. We also did small group interviews that questioned them, and the small group, we asked them, well, you said that you are now thinking better. What does that look like? What does that, tell me more of what you mean by thinking better, for example. And we also went and talked to the faculty and asked the faculty, is there a difference? Did you see a difference in your students now that they've gone through one semester of Introduction to Engineering, for example? Do you find a difference in students' interest, in students' motivation, in engagement? What do you think can be better, improved, and so forth? So to us, we did that, which was a 3-year-long study, because we felt that if we are going to put in the manpower and the resource to make changes to our curriculum, we need to find that out, and therefore report it back to management that, this is what the students say, this is what the faculty say, and so forth. Yeah? So we went one step further. Okay. So to conclude today, this 2 days session, before CDIO for us, the learning outcomes was what we thought. We as lecturers thought students are capable of doing. Okay? But with CDIO, we look at what the graduates are expected to do in the job, and from the industry perspective, from alumni perspective, okay, from faculty perspective. Before CDIO, the courses were largely independent. Each one, like CAD drawing, no links to mechanics, for example. Yeah? No links at all, not integrated. But once we went on to CDIO, we start to integrate, because that's what is happening in industry, on the job. Next one, before CDIO, very few opportunities for the student to conceive, some of it to design, but mostly implement and operate. So once we went on to CDIO, now we feel that it's a balanced treatment of C and D and I and O. Okay? Then life skills before CDIO, like teamwork, communication, etc., were actually taught as standalone classes. No links back to engineering. But with CDIO, we start to look at how can we integrate these life skills into the technical classes as well. And finally, assessment. Before CDIO, we only tested knowledge. Okay, knowledge. But after CDIO, we're looking at the application of knowledge as well as the CDIO skills. Was it enhanced? Okay? So we had a good journey with CDIO. We find that students have more motivation, they have deeper understanding, more active engagement, definitely more thinking, self-learning, and they have an integrated view of the knowledge that they are learning. Okay, just want to share with you the last bit, which is resources that are available. Go to CDIO.org. It's a website that's open to everybody. Okay, and there's a whole lot of stuff here. You go to Knowledge Library, and all the conference papers that has been presented and workshop papers and so forth, you can find here. So go there and Google, and you can find active learning, introduction to engineering, whatever. design build, assessments, evaluation, and so forth. These are the conferences and meetings coming up next year. Okay, so do come and join us in March, 20 to 26 of March. That's where the regional meeting will be held. The Asian regional meeting will be held in Singapore. Then in June will be MIT, Harvard. And that's a wonderful place to go to. I'm excited. And in fall, this is sometime, I think in October, is Taylor's University in Malaysia. So pretty close places, Singapore and Malaysia, come. Okay, MIT may be too far away, not too many of us can go, but Singapore and Malaysia, do come and join us. Yeah, and 2014 is at Barcelona. Okay, and I heard it's beautiful. And 2015, another close to us, China, Chengdu University in China. Okay, so these are some of the meetings that are coming up next year and the next few years. So do join us. Yeah. Okay, I think with that, that's all I have. Do I have anything else? No, that's it. So that's all for these last 2 days, and I really like to thank you for taking time out from your really busy schedule. I know all of you have been running in and out, teaching and coming back, and I really appreciate that. Yeah, and we hope really to come back again sometime next year to be with you all again. Thank you very much.
So on behalf of the Faculty of Engineering, I have to thank Shi Wei and also Helen very much for your kind introduction to the CDIO and your hard working for 2 days. And also I have to thank, please pass my message to Dr. Linda, and I would like to thank her also. And I understand that we learn a lot from you. We learn a lot from you. And for today, I understand that this last session, you are going to teach us how to do and how to go back to the department and try to understand the standard, the 12 standard. And after that, each department come together again and discuss, and then we develop the program according to the CDIO. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, okay, thank you very much again. Let's take photo together outside, so we can have a photo outside together. I think you still have time before leaving. Okay, okay, maybe okay.